Hello and welcome to the In the Money Players podcast. This is our show for Tuesday, February, what is it, the 11th? Something like that. It's February. It's the 10th. And I'll figure out what day it is at some point. Breaking format today. We are actually going to do some handicapping because Santa Anita on Friday has a Sunset 6 carryover. Not just Santa Anita, but also Gulfstream. I just happened to be looking at the Santa Anita website, which tells me there's going to be $33,199 carried over to this bet. So one of our favorite wagers out there. It's got the $1 minimum. It's got the low takeout, and it's also has some restrictions on what the computer players can do. So in terms of game selection, when this bet has a carryover, it's one that we want to be getting involved in and talking about to you. If you are watching on YouTube, we've got a couple other videos dropping very soon. Check those out. On the audio side, I'm just going to go ahead and put the audio in. You can hear our latest Derby Top 10 video as well as our analysis of the Risen Star Stakes. So thank you for joining us. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Whether you're watching or listening, that helps us out tremendously. JK, let's just dive right in to this Pick 6 Sunset version on Friday, February 13th. We kick things off with a 5-furlong turf sprint, state bred, optional claimer, first level allowance. What numbers do you want on your tickets?
Yeah, I'm going to spread here. Usually a turf sprint, I can try to find someone that makes me warm and fuzzy. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. And the one that I wanted to kind of highlight was the 3. I'm wishing on a star. When it comes to these turf sprints, I want speed. And this one has shown speed in the past on multiple different surfaces, but that last race with the really fast figures on the synthetic were enough for me to kind of lean on this one to use as what would be a top pick for me, the 3. But in a race with a carryover, and I can get skinny a little bit later, I'm gonna spread like crazy here. Those numbers again: 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
I put Wildly Speedy, one of your numbers, on top. Showed some talent last summer at Monmouth, and I thought had an excuse for the last, taking a bump early, and then something clearly went wrong because the horse has been away for over 200 days. The recent work looked much faster, so maybe she's ready, has that good attacking post, plenty of scope for improvement for this rising 4-year-old off a long layoff. The 7, Baby Blocks, another you mentioned, another I want. Sort of the other end of the spectrum, the grizzled vet, as opposed to the promising newcomer. 25 starts for this horse, 13 in the money finishes. She's been in decent form on synthetic, but looking at the overall PPs, might be a better turf horse, hard trier, push button speed. I'd like to have this one on side as well. Obviously, I'll take a look at some of the other numbers that you mentioned. We'll move to race number 9 at Gulf, optional claimer, 62K with some conditions attached to it as well. We're going that 1-turn mile on the Gulfstream dirt this time around. I thought that there looked like there was plenty of speed on paper and things could set up really nicely for number 7, Sugarfish, and Safi Joseph Jr. sends this West Coast import out for the first time. Grade 2 winner, grade 1 placed, and I just thought would get the run of the race in here. I did want to mention another as a backup too. I'm curious what you think of number 1, Contrary. I thought it had a nice profile overall for Brendan Walsh with some tactical speed, and I could see getting a forward position and settling while others do the heavy hitting up front. Has some finish and could pull the right type of trip under Gaff Leone. Mostly 7, a little 1 for me. Who do you like?
Yeah, look, I agree with the 1 and the 7. I'll use both of those for basically all the same reasons. The one that I'll also use the 4, 5G. This is one that was always pretty, a pretty well-meant type for George Weaver. Remember, it was a scratch on the week of the Kentucky Oaks. Wasn't able to run there. And then had the whole year off. Came back into La Brea. What a pretty aggressive move for George Weaver to ship out there off of that long layoff to try to take on the La Brea. That didn't go well. But obviously there was enough talent being shown in the morning for George to make a move like that. Hit the reset button one more time, come back to Gulfstream Park, and I think that 5G, getting Lasix for the first time, is one that I want to make sure I have on the tickets. That would be actually my top pick in here, the 4, 5G, but I'll use 1, 4, and 7.
4, 7, and 1. I'm going to write it down in the official picks we sent around to our In the Money Plus people. If you want to learn more about that service and all that it entails, it's a lot of good stuff. inthemoneypodcast.com/plus. Race number 10 at Gulfstream, maiden optional claimer, 50,000, going a mile on the turf. As we close out this Gulfstream card, JK, what numbers will be on your tickets?
Yeah, I'm going to go 1, 5, 9. The 1 shotgun, the 5 Authentic Legend, and then the 9 No More War. When you look at these races, these maiden optionals, and there's horses that are maiden claiming that are coming in. I mean, give me the ones that have shown up maiden special weight and run well enough. That have I think there's such a huge gap between a horse that's run well enough in maiden special weight versus one who's hit the board in maiden claiming. I think there's some horses in here that look a little bit attractive just because of their running lines, but who are they doing it against? To me, Authentic Legend for Todd Pletcher. He's the last. There's that last race, 15-1, still running a good enough number, but was 15-1. The horse was never supposed to win that maiden special weight. Now a little class relief, I think, helps. And the same can be said about the outside horse, No More War. Another one who's got numbers that are right there in the mix that are a little bit better than this group. But it's just been kind of knocking on the door, needs a little class relief, is going to get that class relief here.
Your third pick was my top pick. Number 9, No More War, has plenty of angles to use despite the wide gate, dropping in class. Barn's been hot, and you can probably bake in some figure improvement for this one for the time the horse has been away, and it feels like that work 2 back signals readiness. I got an off-the-wall one to throw in. Number 6, English Rocker, not just a hunch play, given the record collection behind me, but this one is yet to run on a conventional turf course. And that was a very live maiden that he was beaten up in over at Kentucky Downs. I'm just not going to hold that race against this horse. I thought it was worth a try at this lower level. I will note, and hopefully this just contributes to the price, but this horse was a vet scratch, went in for 35 back in November, but appears to be back on the right track. I think is well spotted. I'm just going to take a little bit of a shot at one with a price to maybe mix in there. And I don't mind the other 2 that JK mentioned at all in terms of my verticals and maybe for some deeper backups, but mostly 9 and a little 6 for me as we close out our conversation at Gulfstream and we pivot to Santa Anita after our dinner break. We pick up with race number 6. This one also starts the late pick 3 with its $3 minimum and 15% takeout. It's the second leg in the all turf pick 3, another bet we like. So a lot of importance here on this 6th at Santa, which is a maiden for 4 and 5-year-olds going a mile on the turf. Who's your idea of the winner?
Yeah, just the 1 and the 3 for me. I like the 1 quite a bit, Latitude. Just one that has shown some talent, obviously, has run some good numbers, has got some nice figures. It's a candy ride and is now taking the opportunity to switch surfaces. Sometimes sources will show you things in the morning. They'll trick you a little bit. And that change up, that change of scenery, that change of footing can sometimes wake them up. I think if this horse can move up even just a little bit, I think could be tough on the grass. There's not a lot of pedigree to lean on there, but these candy rides will kind of get you anything.
Yeah, I thought the pedigree was okay, all things considered. We're in lockstep here with the top pick of Latitude. I thought can get a good trip from the inside, either on the lead or maybe letting Legal Air clear and then attacking. First time turf, but candy rides run on anything. And the Dam, I noted, did run her best figure on the turf. That could be an angle. Did you have anything specifically you wanted to add about the 3 before I throw in one more horse here?
No, I just, just one that kind of has the experience. Been knocking on the door. I'm starting to wonder, does this one want to win? But I also think that the prices this one's always been kind of justifiable. What's going to change here? Just the one that I wanted as an alternative to the top horse. I'll use the 1 as an A and the 3 as a B.
Gotcha. The other one I wanted was the aforementioned Legal Air, the 6 runner, maybe a candidate to wire them. Felt like Coco San was just running a different race at a totally different level last time, and Legal Air fits in a lot better with these. So I might take a little bit of a shot there as we pivot to race number 7, where we've got a 6-furlong dirt sprint optional claiming 50, first level allowance, and Artisma makes her return to the races in here, and I thought just looked very tough. I mean, made the lead in a grade 1 last time before stopping to a walk. This is just such massive class relief, and there just doesn't look to me to be a ton of speed in this race. Love this post for this situation. I thought it was all about Artisma. Are you with or against the favorite?
Yeah, I'm going to use Artisma. But I also thought that the 1, 3, and the 4 deserve to be used as Bs. I do believe that Artisma will be tough, but there's something about Artisma that just doesn't make me feel all that warm and fuzzy, right? It's been a long time since she's gotten her picture taken in the winner's circle. Although she's been doing it well, I don't quite trust her enough to just ice cold single and not have any backup. So I'll use the 7 as an A, 1, 3, 4 as Bs.
Excellent. Let's go to the nightcap. I should have mentioned race 7 kicks off that late double. Another bet that we're always wanting to get involved in at Santa Anita with its player-friendly terms. So race number 8, we're talking about so much stuff paying off for this 3-year-old State Bred Maiden Special Weight race. And I think one of the key questions here is, does number 10 Flash of Lightning get in? I thought that was a really nice race last time with the trip, and would make sense despite the wide draw. But if that one doesn't get in, especially the 8 John Metcalf, this horse has run only once on turf, but it was a solid effort, second in a race that produced a couple of next out winners, including Unrivaled Time, who's a stakes level performer. Metcalf himself, also Calbred stakes placed. The wheels came off in the Cal Cup Derby, but no kind of trip there and should bounce back. I was very obvious looking at the 10 and the 8. Do you have anything more clever for us to help us get paid in all these picks?
No, not really. I mean, look, I'm going to use the First Time Starter by Phil D'Amato in a group of horses that don't really inspire much. If the 10 Flash of Lightning draws in an A-type horse, I guess the one interesting one I'll use is the one on the inside, Dr. Filkins, takes the blinkers off. We've talked about it often, where I have a thing for stretch out turf sprinters, or turf sprinters stretching out that draw inside. They're tactical enough to be able to hold position, get position, stay in position. They're already down on the inside, so the geometry of it all is going to take place there to help them kind of save ground all the way around there. And I think that if you're going to get a horse to stretch out, that's the best way to try to start doing that.
So in terms of the numbers that I write down for In the Money Plus, how would you, if we've talked about the 1, 4, the 8, and the 10, how would you rate
I
them?
didn't, no 8 for no 8 for me, just the 1, 4, 10.
Okay, 1, 4, and 10. You're anti John Metcalf in this spot. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, I mean, I get the Phil D'Amato. Maybe I'm being too sensitive to the fact that Mo Forza hasn't had a debut winner yet. There's certainly plenty of grass pedigree with Enola Gray being the dam there. I could. It's one I really wish we could see in the paddock and or get some betting signal. But I might leave off tickets, and then if the signal is going the right way, come up with all manner of savers with that one. We'll see how it plays out. We have 2 minutes, JK, before you turn it back into your carriage turns into a pumpkin. What'd you think of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, look, I did a couple of videos for our friends at Naira about, like, you know, who I liked for the day in racing, and I said in all of them that I really like the Seahawks. I didn't elaborate on it, but there's an efficiency site that talks about the efficiency ratings of these teams. The Seahawks were sneaky, like a top 10 team since 1950.
Yeah.
Now they didn't look all that great offensively, but defensively they were pretty dominant, and doing it without too much blitzing as well. I mean, being able to rush 4 and sit in coverage, it really caused a lot of confusion. So I thought it was great. I thought it was a fun game to watch. I don't mind field goals as long as it's, you're seeing some good offense, good defense. It doesn't have to result in a touchdown for me. And then obviously I was a big fan of the halftime show, as you can see from my Twitter posts and all these psychopaths.
Oh, I haven't seen any of that. I must have muted all the right people. Or I barely go on there, but I thought it was for the second year in a row. It was really interesting. I mean, I think there's something cool about artists getting the halftime show and trying to use it to, like, tell a larger story. I love that type of ambition in storytelling. I mean, it's not like my music per se or whatever, but, like, I think it's cool and different, and I think people get too upset for the wrong reasons. But that happens. That happens a lot in life, I'd like to say. As for me, I feel like you're being polite about the game. I thought it was a bit of a snooze fest, but I did really enjoy the Mandalorian and Grogu ad.
I was probably in the bathroom for that one.
It was blinking you miss it. It was about 30 seconds in total. We got so much good stuff coming up on In the Money this week. Loads of good stuff. Frank McGoey will be here. We're going to talk about the full-on Risen Star card. If you're listening on the audio side, you'll hear what JK and I have to say about the big race on that day there. What else we got? In the Money Plus, we're going to have Michael Adolphson talking all about the Saudi Cup card. So that should be great. We got terrific racing. Saturday is one of those days where you can basically wake up and bet horses from dawn till dusk and beyond, in fact. So I'm really looking forward to it. JK, great to have you here. And we'll see if we can loop you back in for something this weekend. And if not, then next week for sure. Great having you.